we're Alison and Ian from Ageless Curiosity, and we've recently enjoyed a Baltic cruise aboard P&O Britannia. In this video, we share our thoughts on the ship, the food, the entertainment and the itinerary. So if this cruise has been on your radar, or it's something new you're considering, then this is the video for you. Our 7-day cruise began in Southampton and made stops in Kiel, Germany, Helsinki, Finland, Tallinn in Estonia, Visby in Sweden, with our final port being Copenhagen in Denmark, before heading back to Southampton. If you want to see how we fared in each of these ports, then do check out our series of videos linked at the end of this one. Before we start, we'd like you to answer the following question in the comment section below. What is the main reason you go on a cruise? Is it for the food, entertainment, destination, or the ship? But for now, let's dive into our review of the cruise itself.
Right, okay, so this is the part of the video where we just quickly summarise on the various things, our thoughts about what you've just seen and heard about. So I guess the first place to start will be the ship. What were your thoughts on the ship?
Right, well, she's 10 years old next year, so got an anniversary coming up. Still flagship for the fleet, amazingly, even though there's 2 new ones.
Yeah, that was a bit surprising.
Yeah, we're surprised about that. But I think she's a lovely size ship. She's very elegant, I would call her.
Yeah, definitely. And for those who don't know, that when we started the channel, Britannia was the very first ship we ever went on a cruise on, so it's been nice to come back and familiarise ourselves with her again. Exactly,
explore a bit further. I think the bit that I was a bit puzzled with this ship is why there's no stairs in the midship. So that's always that area gets really congested in the lifts, which is a bit odd.
And it does throw people out as well, even season cruises as well. Even 2 weeks into the cruise, you find people getting lost and saying, "Oh no, how do we get up here?" and everything else. But it is just one of those designs of the ship.
Definitely, and no promenade deck either. But there's quite a lot of outside space, which in a nice weather is lovely. Yeah.
But after the refit they had. They've obviously done all the carpets and changed some of the furniture around. They've given her a bit of a spruce up. She still is showing quite a bit of wear and tear as well in certain areas. I know that in the cabin video we covered the soot on the balcony. You've got various parts of the handrails that have worn and not been addressed or anything like that. Parts of furniture showing a bit of wear and tear as well, but on the whole, she's a lovely ship. A nice size as well, I'd say.
Great size.
A nice size.
Yeah.
Okay, so food. What were your thoughts on the food?
Well, the food, what I will say first of all is it's been fantastic that we haven't had to think about buying food, preparing it, clearing it away, any of that thought. That's fantastic about being on a cruise ship, and we have not gone hungry, but it has been a little bit disappointing, a little bit repetitive with the food. Some of the portion sizes have been quite small. That doesn't actually bother me too much because I've eaten far too much anyway, so to have 3 courses is not usual. So small portions are okay for me, but I know some people find that a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, food is a very hot topic, and if you're brave enough to go on any of the Facebook groups, you'll see plenty of people whinging about the food. Clearly, regular viewers will know that we're easily pleased with regard. But I think the cruise industry as a whole over the last 3 years has changed the quality in order to keep costs down to enable us to cruise still.
Yeah, maybe stop a bit of waste as well, so the no tray bit. I think we've accepted that now, that's fine.
And that's clearly obvious, especially in the buffet, where the variety in the buffet is pretty poor. The quality of the food's not too bad, but I mean every day there was a curry of some sorts. And when we first came on the ship a few years back, you'd get the rolls of smoked salmon, etc., which you don't get now. No. If you do see smoked salmon, it's already put in a bagel for you and everything else.
And the steak was a little bit smaller than you've had, even Epicurean.
Yeah. Steaks, 5-ounce steaks. Wow. I mean, times are changing. But I guess it all comes down to what you actually come on a cruise for. If you come on a cruise solely for the food, then I think you're probably missing something. Nevertheless, it's not as good as we remember.
No, Sindhu, maybe it's because we've been to a few Sindhus. I didn't quite as enjoy it as before. We're going again. We're going again on our last night. So, hopefully it's better then.
Yeah, we'll feedback. Cabin.
Cabin, right. So we specifically booked an aft cabin, which is the same as when our first cruise. It was an aft cabin, but we're in a different deck this time. I've loved the cabin itself in terms of the view. You cannot beat looking out of that wake. I have to say it is fantastic, and we sort of long for the next cruise to get sort of those views again, those vistas. But the one disappointing thing has been about the soot that comes from the funnel over the back of the ship, and we haven't had that on any other experience we've had. So it's something that we did know was going to be a possibility, and the cabin steward did warn us straight away. We've had towels to put on the chairs, and I did bring wipes in advance anyway, so we wiped down, as well as the cabin steward wiping down, we can wipe down the rail and the chairs.
Yeah, and I'm pleased you mentioned the cabin steward. Our cabin steward, Desmond, is fabulous. He's actually finishing on the ship today.
Yes, yeah.
So we hope he has a lovely time back with his family, and hopefully we'll catch up with him again at some time soon on another cruise. But the soot especially, we already knew about it, that it was likely to be an issue. And they didn't try and hide it. Desmond was, straight out, told us about the towels, etc. And it's not been every day, to be fair.
No.
It's not been every day.
And then talk about staff. Obviously, one of their main roles is to entertain us. And I would say there's been a great variety. Sometimes on cruise ships, we've just gone from one activity to the other, to the other, to the other. But on this one, we've actually sat down and relaxed a little bit more, and just sat and read a book, looked out at the views, and not worried about going to all the quizzes, or the line dancing, or the fit steps, the gym, all of that. But we have done a little bit of that, and there has been something for most people. Well,
I mean, the fact that every theatre show is packed to the gunnels.
Yeah.
Or the live lounge is packed to the gunnels. Brody's is packed to the gunnels. Every time there's a bit of entertainment on, everyone's been there. Yeah. So much so that for each of the theatre shows, you have to be in your seat 40 minutes before the show. Yeah. Otherwise, you're at risk of not having a seat at all.
Definitely.
And going back to Fee, is that she's actually saw this very early on the cruise. And she saw how busy the 8:30 showings were, so she actually has put a couple of matinees on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, just so that people can get to see the shows.
And it spreads it out a bit, so everyone gets a chance, you say.
And talking about the shows, headliners.
Oh, yeah. This has been a really good bunch of dancers and singers, really good. And they've done some of the line dancing, the choir. I didn't talk about choir, did I? That was fantastic. So they led the workshops for that, as well as doing the actual shows. And there's been 7 different performances across these 2 weeks, different types of things they've done. Some of it have been in the live lounge, sort of a little bit less formal and stage-like, but they have done their big performances as well. And we've really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I can't. You can see that they give it their all. Some of the production's a bit hit and miss. Some of the acts that they've got on from Stars in Your Eyes or whatever have been a little hit and miss. But nevertheless,
it's all about taste, isn't it? If it's not your thing. Yeah, and I think on port days there hasn't been a huge amount of things going on in the evening, but I think because we've walked when we've been in ports, it's been quite nice just to relax.
Exactly, just zonk and then wake up in the next port.
Exactly, well, that's why we love cruising.
Talking of which, it's almost like we're professional now. We're just rolling on into the itinerary. This is the last section we're going to talk about, the itinerary. Your thoughts on the itinerary? Right,
so it's been 2 weeks and we've been in the Baltics, and I have absolutely loved this itinerary, all the ports. So we've had a couple of overnight stays, as you would have seen, in Helsinki in Finland and Copenhagen in Denmark, and that has allowed us to really explore the area and have excursions where you've come back a little bit later. You've been able to get off and explore the area overnight and even into the evening, and had a meal there. So it's given a lot more opportunities.
But what were your thoughts actually on the ports themselves? The ports themselves, okay. So just to remind you that those of you who haven't yet been back and seen the series, and if not, why not? We went to Kiel, then we went to Helsinki. For an overnighter. Then we went to Tallinn in Estonia. Then we went to Visby in Sweden.
So that was a little island, Gotland, part of Sweden.
Then we went to Copenhagen. Exactly.
Oh my gosh, a little robin has just gone on the balcony. Sorry.
Okay, he's trying to gate crash our summary.
Wow,
Maybe he wants to say something.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
hello, little robin.
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay.
This is really weird, sorry.
Right. So, and not only, not all these destinations, we've got wildlife.
Yeah.
So, yes. So the ports themselves goes back to what we were saying about the food. What do you actually go on a cruise for? In fact, that's a question for all of you out there now to think about and maybe comment in before we end this. Do you go on a cruise for the food, for the entertainment, or for the destinations? Now I know.
Or the ship is sometimes people go for the ship.
Or the ship. So I know what it is for us, and we would say the destinations.
Yeah.
And as a result, I think this has been top notch.
Spot on for us, because it's been lovely, lots of history, lots of interesting places.
Some surprises. I mean, Visby, what a place.
Yeah.
Tallinn I always knew about. Was going to be nice, and that didn't disappoint. Probably the poorest one was the first one, which was Kiel.
Yeah.
Even though we saw the botanical gardens, which are really good, they're free. It's been really, really fantastic, and we always like to go to new places as well. So
hence our name, our title. We're curious people.
Oh,
so.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And we're forever exploring different places and different parts to go and see. That has been fantastic for me.
I mean, it's been September, October. I think next time I might like to go more of the springtime, so you've got a bit for longer days. But that's my only difference that I would do. I would certainly do this itinerary again, 100%.
Cool, excellent. Right, so if you haven't answered the question, put it in the comments now, whilst we think about what score we're going to give this cruise.
Okay.
Right, okay, I'll go first this time round.
Okay, go for it.
Because normally you go first, and then I just completely disagree. I'm going to give this... I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. I think value for money, It was fantastic. I think the staff have been brilliant. I think the entertainment's been really good, and I think the itinerary has been superb. Yes, the ship's showing a bit of wear and tear. Yes, the food could be better, but overall I think we've had I personally have had a really, really good couple of weeks.
Okay, well, I think I might top that, maybe go for a 9, because it has been really good, and as I said, I would definitely come back to these places again and explore again. I feel there's a lot more to see in these places.
Okay, well, there you have it. That's our summary, and that is our verdict. What were your thoughts? If you've seen any of the videos, let us know what your thoughts, what your favourite port was or are, and whether or not you'd consider coming on a Baltic cruise yourself. So, until the next adventure...
which we need to plan soon.
Yeah, okay, all right, well, here's another one. Where should we go next, and on which cruise line? There you go, get those comments in, because we've not booked anything yet.
No, this is unusual for us, so we haven't got anything booked. So, let us know where you think we'd like.
Cool. Right, we're going to leave it there, and we're going to catch up with you next time. So until then,
stay curious.